Okay, everybody, we'll get started here in just a moment. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Friday. Happy Friday. Okay. Let's see. Oops, nope. Okay. Oh, wait. So we'll get started here in about 2 more minutes. We start promptly at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is Chicago time. Hi, welcome to Feature Friday. I'm your host, Richard Tharp. In case you're new to viewing this. Oh, hello, Alexis. Hi, Donna. Hi, FXTRTR. Howdy. Ooh-wee. So yes, we are casting live. Fridays I always am live simultaneously on YouTube and on Facebook. So I have a few screens to keep up with, trying to keep up with the chat and all that fun stuff. Whew. It's been a wonderful day today. It's been warm and sunny and all that wonderful stuff. So it's been a good day. Not horribly hot.
It's been a wonderful day.
Not horribly hot, so that's always good. Hi, Sandra. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Yes, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Hi, Jackie. Okay. Whew-wee. So, let's see here. It is almost 6 o'clock. We'll get started here in just a second. I have something a little bit different for tonight than what I haven't done this for a long time on Feature Friday, so I'm going to just give you some hints and tips on how to free motion quilt on your domestic sewing machine. I happen to be on the Baby Lock Altair, and we'll talk about how to set your machines up in just a moment. Okay, so let me check a few more chat windows here. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. And I think we are good to go. So, hi. Let me get me a drink of my coffee. Good coffee, good creamer. Okay, so what we're going to be doing tonight, it is time to start. So welcome to Feature Friday yet again. So what we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to be doing free motion quilting. And when I switch to the other camera, you're going to see my quilt. Hi, Mia. Hi, SP. And what we're going to be doing, though, I'm going to give you some pointers on free motion quilting. Now, I know everybody's always nervous to first start free motion quilting, but you know what? Don't be. The more you do it, the easier it comes. And I love the free motion quilt. Okay. Quilting in the hoop is one thing, and quilting on a long arm, but sitting down at a machine in free motion quilting, it's just its own unique experience. And I'm going to give you a bunch of pointers on how to be successful with free motion quilting tonight. Okay. Hi, Linda. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. I saw some other posts, Linda, about your brother. I hope he's going to be okay. We were just talking about Colorado. Are you I think you're in the Denver area, right? That's where we moved. We lived in Denver before we came here to Illinois from where we're at right now. And we were just talking about all the fun hot springs all throughout Colorado that we miss going to. Boy, Linda, you have some wonderful, fabulous quilt shops out there in the Denver metro area. I hope you get a chance to go visit those. Hi, Mike and Linda. Hi, Margaret. Okay. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Roseanne. Hi, Birdie. Oh, Roseanne, with what I'm doing tonight, you can do on a Solaris, you can do it on a Destiny, an Alissimo, any domestic sewing machine. And so I'm good in Arvada. I love Arvada. Hi, Bill. Oh, Linda, Birdie's out there in your area. Hi, Mary. It's so good to see you. I'm so glad everything's going well for you with everything. It's wonderful news. So before I swap the camera over to this, I'm going to show you the 3 feet that come with most of these machines. Hi, Christy. Hi, Douglas. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you, this is the O foot. It's the open-toed free motion foot. Hi, Chris. I'm going to swap to my other camera. Okay, so see this foot? There we go. It's the O foot. And if I angle it up, you can see that that is an open-toed free motion foot. You can see there's an opening there, okay? So that's one of your choices. The other choice is this one here, okay? Notice it has a really wide space in it. This is called the Echo foot. This comes with most of those Baby Lock and Brother machines. And what it is, you have to use the shank adapter to use this. And what the shank adapter is, when you take your ankle off of your shaft, this goes up on, fits up on it, right there. And then this foot would actually fit right there like that, okay? That screw hole would go all the way through it. We're not using those two tonight. That'll be another night. The one that we are using tonight is called the C foot for free motion quilting. Get it right in front of the camera so it focuses. There we go. Come on, you. Get a little closer with that zoom lens. Should make it. There we go. The C foot, notice, has just a little metal opening in it, and that needle, when you have your needle in the center position, I'm going to show you how to set your machine up next. This fits directly onto the shaft of the machine after you remove the ankle, okay? So there's the 3 feet that come with the machines that you can use for free motion quilting. We're going to be using the C foot, and I already have it attached. Now, to set it up, so I'm going to swap over to my handheld camera so you can see my screen. Now, we're going to go into sewing mode. Whichever machine you have that has a screen like this, you go into sewing mode. And on some other machines, you have to lower your feed dogs to free motion quilt. That's with any machine. On these type of machines, you see that little icon right there, the end of my finger? That turns the machine by touching it. It not only lowers the feed dog, it tells the machine you're getting ready to do free motion quilting. Notice right here it recommends that C foot that I have placed on the machine. Hi, Mindy. So everything is set up. You don't have to worry about setting stitch length or anything like that because none of that matters in free motion quilting, okay? So all I had to do was just touch that little icon, and what that does, notice I turned it off, and now it wants me to put the J foot on. Just by tapping that button so it turns blue, depending which machine you have, it might turn a different color, but that is how you set these machines up for free motion quilting, just by touching one button. How easy is that? Let's go over here and have a closer look at this foot. There you can see that C foot right there. I already have it set up. This is some quilting I've done in a different video using using IQ Designer. But right now we're going to do free motion quilting. So let me get my other camera back. Okay. So everything is set. You do need your foot control attached because when you free motion quilt, you are going to be using that foot control and not that start and stop button. Turn your motor speed all the way up. Okay. And next I'm going to put on my quilting gloves. So I like using quilting gloves when I'm free motion quilting simply because if you have your hands on the quilt and you're moving this around, it's going to start slipping off your fingertips. And this also keeps any body oil from your fingers and hands off of your quilt. Okay. Get that glove on. I'm using Madeira 40 weight Arrow Quilt quilting thread. Excuse me. Let me just give you a little view of that. Just so you know, right there. You can see my mess back there, but that's okay. Okay, so we're all set to free motion quilt. I do have it so my needle will stop in the down position if I stop. When I stop sewing. So I'm going to pull out, 6 inches or so of my upper thread. You see I have it right there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to drop my needle and then pull it back up. And then I'm going to pull up on it, and it brought the bobbin thread to the top. You always want your bobbin thread up to the top of your quilt, whether you're going to free motion quilt, even on a long arm. This is something you do, and I didn't have a good grip on it, so let me just do it again. Needle down, needle up, and then I'm going to raise my presser foot to release tension. Then I'm going to pull that thread. Now you can see that. There's my bobbin thread. I just pulled it up. And now we are ready to quilt. So another important thing is over here on your screen, you want to turn, if you have pivoting turned on, you want to turn it off because you don't want that foot coming up every time you stop when you're free motion quilting. What I'm talking about is this icon right here, the needle going through the presser foot. If you have that activated, every time you stop, needle will stop down, but the presser foot will hover up so that you can. It's wonderful when you're actually piecing or sewing something, but for free motion quilting, you do not want that turned on. Okay. Hi Melissa, hi Vicky, hi Vanessa, hi Christy. Okay, so I'm going to get started. Now here's the thing. When you press on that presser foot, your foot control is what I mean by that. When I press on it, like right now, see it just keeps on going. Well, that's fine. I let it go right in spots so it would make a knot. And now I'm just going to move it forward and back a couple of times, but I'm going to press it harder so it goes quicker. There we go. And now I have a little tack right there, and I'm ready to start quilting. Hi Doreen, hi Sandra, hi Cinda. Okay, so to maintain good control over your quilt sandwich, put both of your hands, let me give a little bit wider view. You want both of your hands down like this. See, if you put your hands like this and it makes that triangle between your index finger and your thumb is where you have the most control of your fabric. So what that means is I'm going to quilt stop it at just a minute there. I'll pull my thread out from under my foot, and just leave it over to the side, and I'll finish that off a little bit later. So what I'm going to do, this does take a little bit of hand and eye coordination, because what's going to happen is you're going to control the stitch length by moving your hands. This just takes practice, everybody. This is not stitch regulated or anything like that. So what you want to do, pick a speed that you like, and then just start moving it. And you'll watch it. And eventually you'll find a speed that is just perfect for you, where you have control. And I'm just doing an overall meandering stipple right now. And where you want to watch it is when you're going around a curve. Because if you go too slow, that's how people break needles. You want it to have a nice, smooth start and stop when you're doing this. So notice I was getting here to my thumb, so I stopped. I'm going to reposition my hand. Yes, Melissa, you always drop your feed dogs on your machine, and there's a button right up here in this corner, in the upper right corner of the screen here. You press that, and that sets your machine up for free motion quilting. Right here. That little button right there. Okay? That little icon right there. That all you do is touch that, and it drops your feed dogs, and you're ready to do free motion quilting. Okay. So let's do some more here. So remember, between the index finger and your thumb is where you have the best control over your fabric and your quilt sandwich. So I don't want to go past either one of those areas that I just mentioned. I'm trying to work myself up here to a space where I can get to a free area. So I'll just reposition my hands. I'm going to keep going up. There we go. Now I'm back to a free area. Okay. It's also very important to keep the weight of your quilt from hanging over the side of the table that you're quilting on. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Kathy. So what I mean by that, if you have, let me back this lens up some. If you have this laying way down here like this, and you try to do this, it's going to create drag on the edge right here. You do not want that. And you also want this up on a table so that your quilt sandwich is more apt to float. And Melissa, I am using this presser foot right here. It's the C foot. It comes with your machine. Right there it says C, and that's what it looks like. Okay. And we're just going to be quilting here. This overall meander, it really is one of the fastest ways to free motion quilt a quilt, especially if you have a larger one and you have a large area to cover. Now this is not what I call stippling. Stippling is something you do really tightly together, and that's a completely different technique. Okay. Everybody, I will be live tomorrow night at 5 o'clock on my YouTube channel, just so everybody knows. appreciate each and every one of you. And some people have asked me why I only do it on Facebook on Fridays. Well, that's where all of this began, was on Facebook on Friday nights. So I will always do a live on Friday nights on Facebook. All the other time, my lives are going to be on YouTube. You might be wondering why, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, and that's because if you watch on Facebook, Facebook pays me for how many viewers I have watching on that. I get a little monthly check from YouTube. And it doesn't cost anybody anything. You watch it for free, but it's just the metrics, how it works with YouTube. I do earn a little bit of money to do lives on YouTube. Facebook doesn't offer anything like that. It's okay, you don't have to watch me on YouTube. I just want to let you know that there is an available option like that. I'm getting ready to stop here and bring in the camera closer so you can see some of the little meandering that I was doing here. Let's do that right now. Okay. Here is some of that stitching I'm doing right up here. See that? This is just what I call one of my practice quilts. Always. You always want to practice on something. You always want to practice on something when you're trying different stuff out. The first time you should try free motion quilting, don't do it on a quilt that you don't mind if there's a few boo-boos on, because everybody makes boo-boos, myself included. Okay. Let's see here. Tanya, can't you stream at the same time, one YouTube and one Facebook? Yes, Tanya, that's what I'm doing right now. We are on both of them. Oh, thank you, Ernestine. Yeah, so Tanya, yeah, I am streaming today on both right now. But I tell you, I've had some computer issues. It takes a lot of processing power on your computer to do that. And that's the only reason that I don't always do it on both channels. It just makes it easier on my computer equipment. This has a totally different feel than from like doing free motion quilting on the Regent or even in the long arm. But notice I have this extension table on right here. Hold on. I have my extension table on my Altair. They have these for all brands of domestic machines. And I consider if you don't have your machine in a cabinet, you want an extension table. Because if you just have this off and your little slide-on arm over your free arm, you're not going to get smooth quilting just doing it that way. It'd be very difficult to do. No, Roseanne, I've never had eyelashing back here. You know, that's something that really happens. You have to really watch it on a long arm to get the eyelashing. And for those of you that don't know what that is, if your tension's off on a long arm on the back of a quilt, you can I basted that quilt. I'm pulling out basting thread. what eyelashing is, if your tension is too tight on either the top or on the bottom, it'll pull all that thread to that side where the tight tension is, and it'll create little loops that look like eyelashes, and they are a pain to rip out. Trust me, it'll happen to you once, and then you'll be extremely careful of not letting that happen again. So I'm going to work my way over to here. Fill up this area that's not been quilted yet. Just going to meander over. Here we go. But answer to the eyelashing question, I quite honestly have never had that happen free motioning on a set-down machine. The only time I've ever had eyelash issues is on an actual big long arm. And there's many ways to check tension on a long arm. I'll be doing a long arm video here soon. And I'll show you my methods for adjusting long arm tension. Once I get all my customer quilts caught up and out of my long arm, I'll be able to show you. I'll be able to do a video quilting one of my quilts, and I'll be able to show you how to set tension that way. Excuse me. Let's see here. Tracy, that's a wonderful question, but I don't believe so. Because what that projector does, it projects an image from the machine. So you just couldn't put any free motion design into a projector on the Solaris for it to project whatever you wanted. I hope that made sense. Oh, thank you, Gal. Cinda. Oh, no, I have not adjusted any tension whatsoever on this, everybody. No. From just doing piecing to going to free motion, zero adjustment. No adjustment whatsoever on the tension. These are really one of my favorite brands. They're called Grabberoos, Patty. I love these. They have little micro dots, little rubber micro dots on them that really grip. And they're that lycra, stretchy type of glove that breathes. I have some arthritis in my hands, and I can quilt for a very long time using these. I've never used those type of gloves you're talking about, Patty. Okay, so now I'm going to work on down here to a freer area. Then we're going to do something a little bit different. Oh, you're welcome, Cinda. Okay. And ideally, what you want to do, once you find the speed you like, because if you hold the foot pedal all the way down, that's where you want it to be, so you don't have to feather your foot pedal. I'm going to drop this down to about the halfway mark. I'm going to see where that's at. That's actually much better for me, right there. That's as fast as that will go, where I have that speed control set right now. I'm going to try just a little bit faster. I just moved it a smudge. I'm wanting to get down to about right here. Let's see. Yes. And I like that even a little bit better. And my foot is trying to get caught up on a seam right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to raise the height of that presser foot a little bit. I'm going to show you all how to do that. Hold on. Let me swap the camera. Okay, so notice right there, oops, there we go. That is like really laying down there flat. If I push that up with my finger and the needle's down through it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go, where's my little stylus at? I'm going to go right here and go into settings. And what I want to do, presser foot height. Well, that's if it's in the up position though. Hold on. Let's see here. There we go. Free motion foot height. That's what I want to adjust. It's at 1 millimeter. I'm going to do that at 2. One is the default, but I'm going to put that up to 2, and I'm going to give that a go. So I have my free motion foot height. I've moved it up to 2. And that's just something you'll be able to see, because it was really, for this quilt, it was a little bit too low. That foot was wanting to snag on a seam. So I just raised that up a little bit. And we're going to give that a go and see if that's any better. Okay. Oh, that was perfect, actually. For me, oops, I do see something else, though. That foot's loose. I forgot to tighten it, everybody, when I put it on. Goodness. Let me just snug my foot right here. Okay. Now we should be much better off. Let's see. Get my hands out there where they need to be. Right there. I've forgotten how much fun this is on a domestic machine. I pretty much quilt 100% of the time on my long arm. I free motion on that also. This is really fun. Okay. Now let me come back over to my right. And the thing is, by getting that speed, the speed dial set just perfectly right there, all you have to do is push your foot control all the way down, and it will always stitch at the very same speed. Hi, Barb. Hi, Mickey. Let's see here. Look, reading a question, everybody. Do you have any videos using the rulers to quilt? I bought them at my old dealer right before COVID. So, Mickey, are you talking about on a domestic machine like this, or on a big quilting machine? I will do some. I don't think I have. If I do have any, they're pretty far out there, back there. Don't know where they would be. I will do some more ruler work. We call that ruler work. I will do it on both domestic and long arm in a future video here in the very near future. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come down here on this strip of fabric, on this orange strip that shows up on camera a little bit easier. I'm going to travel down here along the edge of the quilt top. That'll all be covered up by the binding. And I'm going to do what's called a wishbone free motion design right there. And I'm going to try to set a different camera up so you might be able to get a little bit better look at this. We'll see how that goes. that hopefully there won't be too much shake. Just a minute here. Okay. Just going to adjust the camera. There we go. I think maybe you'll be able to see it that way. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to travel down along the edge of this quilt top right here. Oh, wonderful, Mickey. Yes, you can do that on either one of those machines. Okay, so I'm going to travel free motion down to this orange strip, and then I'm going to do what's called a wishbone. Okay. It's a great filler. I like to do this on my long arm also. Okay. So what a wishbone is, it just kind of looks like wishbones. It'll come down here and make a loop, come up here, make a loop, back and forth. So here we go. We're going to do the wishbone. I just messed it up right there. That's okay. You really do have to concentrate on this one as to the direction that you're going to be moving. This is one of my favorite fillers. It's also great for borders because you can make them as big or as tiny as you want. I'm going to stop it right there, reposition my hand. If I bring this camera in closer, and yeah, those look pretty darn good, except for that one little boo-boo I made. Check that out. That's what a wishbone is called. Oops. There we go. You can see those wishbones right there. That's called a wishbone. Right there is my little boo-boo. I went in the opposite. I should have came over this way and around, instead I reversed it, but it's all good. Oh, wait. Okay, so let's finish that strip out. And here we go. Finish that wishbone strip. Okay, there's that wishbone strip. You can see that. Now you can see that. There we go. Wishbones, everybody. Just don't look at that one right there. I'll cover it up. There's what good wishbone. That's what good wishbones look like right there. Okay. Okay, so let me see here. Mickey. Yes, you do need a special foot to do ruler work on your domestic machines. Let me swap my camera. So, and I have it. It does not come with your machine. Hold on just a second. Let me go over here to one of my drawers that I keep some of my feet in. I think this is where it's at. Let's see here. Here we go. This is the open-toed ruler foot high shank. So that would be for Destiny, Altair, Solaris, Crescendo, Chorus, any of those machines. So this is it right here. Okay. The item number is BLHOTRF, open toe ruler foot high shank. Let me open it up and you'll get to see what it looks like. And we'll do this on not tonight because I don't have nothing set up for it. But there's what that ruler foot for your machine looks like. It looks just like one that fits on a long arm, okay? And what the difference is, when you have your needle in center position, from the needle position to the outside edge of this ruler foot right here, where my finger's at, that would be exactly 1/4 inch, okay? And you can see, you can adjust the height of it up and down, and it just fits right over here like this on your machine. Let me swap that other camera. You'll kind of get a peek at it that way. Oops. Adjust something. There we go. But there's how that would fit right there. That's how you do ruler work on a domestic machine. Whatever machine you have, they make one of these that will fit your machine. Okay? This is for a high shank machine. This one here is. Westerly makes some of their kits, if you buy Westerly rulers, will come with one of these feet. Not this one in particular, but their own brand. However, and that's okay, but I always recommend, when possible, getting a foot made by your machine's manufacturer, because it will always work better than a third-party foot. Just trust me on that. Okay. That is correct, Patty. Yes. Okay. Let me get my little gloves back on. Excuse me. I'm also going to get a drink of my coffee. Alrighty. Okay. And it's just a lot of fun it really is enjoyable to do quilting. I actually, some people don't like to quilt. They just want to piece quilt tops, and that's fine. Whatever makes you happy in your journey. Some people just like to quilt and don't want to piece quilt tops. And that's okay too. I actually like doing both. But there's days when I don't even want to even look at a quilting machine. But then there's days that's all I want to do is just quilt. So it's a nice balance as far as I'm concerned. I really do enjoy, it's really nice piecing a quilt, your quilt top, and then actually quilting it and seeing the finish, all the steps of a quilt being finished. It's just really a fulfilling and rewarding experience that, hey, I've created this, and it could still be here 100 years from now when I'm long gone. So I think it's a pretty cool thing to do. And everybody, do you know what the best part about making a quilt? You get to sleep under it then. That's pretty cool. Okay. What about my foot? I own destiny. Oh, absolutely, Mickey. Any foot that fits on your destiny will also fit on the crescendo when it comes to sewing. Of course, you can't put embroidery feet on a crescendo because the crescendo is a sewing-only machine. But yes, Mickey, totally it will fit your crescendo. 100% certain. Oh, thank you, Gail. And everybody, I know it looks, I don't know if I make it look easy, but I've done this for years. So my first stuff, I wish I still had my very first quilt that I made. I don't know if I'd be willing to show it to anybody, but the stitching is not very good on it. Hi, Jeanette. Hey, everybody. My cousin Jeanette's here. And yeah, my very first quilt, and I think Jeanette might have my very first quilt. Her grandma, my Aunt Frances, I think that's where my very first quilt, who it went to, was her. I think. But that was all hand quilted. That was not machine quilted at all. Okay, so let's get back to some quilting right here. Oh, Mickey. The meandering, I find the meandering easier than doing something like a wishbone, because you really have to concentrate to get those, to turn those loops on each side in the right direction. Otherwise, you have that little boo-boo like I had, and it just looks. But you know what? It's okay. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. And nobody's perfect, so an occasional boo-boo is okay in the grand scheme of things. Over the entire surface of a quilt, no one's going to see it but you. Will only recognize that. So let's do something else. Let's see here. I have a little area right down here to finish. Let's see here. What am I going to do? I'm going to do something. I'm going to do some pebbles. Now, when I first started doing pebbles, it was stressful because yes, Jeanette, it is purple and it's a tumbler. It's like a trap. It was purple with some dark fabric, a dark print fabric, if I remember correctly. But yes, it did have purple in it, Jeanette. That was my very first quilt, Jeanette, I ever made. Yes, it was my very first quilt that I actually made 100% by hand and quilted it by hand, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna meander over here and do some bubbles, and some people call them bubbles, some people call them some people, they're also can be known as pearls. It depends how you put it together. But all a circle, when you do pebbles, all it really is the figure 8. So let me see if I can get this on camera so you can see this. So I'm gonna travel in the ditch down to here. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Just gonna go slow and travel right in that ditch. All the way down. Okay. Oh, and Jeanette, if you're still on here, I will be putting your quilt in my frame the week after next week. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see here. So now I'm over here at this edge. I'm gonna start doing some pebbles, and all a pebble is, it's a circle. They're connecting circles. It's another type of filler. And this is really one thing. When I first started to do it, it really made me nervous. But what I discovered, you can't let it get you nervous. You just got to go for it. And the more of them you do, the better they'll look. It's been a while since I've done these. But what I discovered, you can actually do what I call thread painting. And you can go around the same circle twice, and it kind of adds a different effect to it. All I did right there is kind of like a figure 8, and there I went around more, and I'm just going to fill in this little end of the strip with some circles. And this is just something, if you really want to master doing pebbles, you just need to get you a piece of, take 2 fat quarters, put some batting in between them, and practice. The more of them more of them you do, the better they will look. I think it's nice if you vary the size of them also. They don't all have to be the exact same size. The most important thing is to have fun with it. Now notice I'm not going very fast here, so I'm trying to keep really super great control over my movements for this. Went back to that scene. Now I'll pull the other camera in so you can get a look at it. I have not done pebbles for a while. Let's see here, this one here. There we go. You can see my little pebbles right there. I can't believe I'm showing everybody that, but it's all good. Now, actually, in the real world, I like to make these a lot bigger because that really pushes it. This is almost like micro pebbling here because it really flattens out your quilt sandwich. Just a minute. There we go. Okay. I keep glancing up at my screens to check for comments or questions. So now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is something, I'm going to do a little bit of echoing to work back my way back over here. And what that is, you're just going to follow some previous lines and just echo them out. Because what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to fill in larger areas. It could be called like fills or fill stitching, or you know what I'm trying to say, and all that fun stuff. But when I'm not talking and quilting, I usually listen to music, and sometimes that will inspire me to do something a little different or more unique or anything like that. Okay, so I made it and I finished off that blue stripe right there. That's what I was after. Now then, I'm going to raise my presser foot and I'm just going to rotate this around a little bit. You can't do that in a long arm, everybody. Okay. So, let's see here. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one of my favorite things to do. I'm going to I love to do feathers. I love feathers. That's right, gal. Okay, so I'm going to do feathers next. Now, a lot of times on a strip quilt and anything, you can see these are 2.5 inch strips, this quilt top is. It's a great way to actually quilt is just doing half of a feather spine. Yeah, Lynn, you'd want to make about pebbles about the size of a quarter would be a good thing to shoot for when you're doing that. If you make them too large, actually it just doesn't quite look, it looks like it's not enough quilting. And what I'm going to do though here on this, let me think how I want my hands to move on this. I want to do up and down. So I want to quilt it this way. I'm over here at this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of the seam lines as a spine for my feather, but I'm going to come up over to this area right here, and I'm going to quilt these two strips. Okay, so I'm just going to travel in the seams. Okay. I'm going to come down to this seam right here. There we go. I'm going to come down to this seam because this will be the center of my feather, okay, for this little area. Okay. Now then, let me see here. I have to think about it for a minute so I get my right movement, the correct movements down. So this is going to be the bottom of my feather, and working up that way, that'll be the top of it right there where that seam is. Right there. Okay, so we're going to do this. I never mark a quilt. 99.9% of the time I do not mark a quilt, I just go for it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, there's my first two feathers at the bottom. There's some previous quilting on there, but I'm just quilting over it. So I'm gonna do the whole thing, and then I'll show everybody what that actually looks like. Okay. Actually going to turn it this way because I actually like doing them like away from me and towards me instead of sideways. The great thing about doing it at a sit-down free motion machine, you can rotate the quilt. If you're in a long arm where it is on those poles, you cannot do what I just did. Okay, so here we go. A bit of fuzz. Almost looks like Puffin here. Puffy, have you been up here on you've been on this quilt? That was some of Puffin's a Puffin fur ball. Okay. So, let go you. There we go. Okay. But I love quilting feathers. It's a great way, depending on how a quilt is pieced, as to whether or not I put feathers in it. And we're almost done with that one already. You can definitely tell when you're doing it on a set-down machine the difference in the drag on a quilt. Okay, so that is right here, one thing of feathers. Yes, yes, Deneen, all of my videos are recorded. Of course, if you do watch them on YouTube, you get much better video quality than on Facebook. Since you're asking me that question on Facebook, all of my videos on YouTube, I have over 200, close to 200 videos on YouTube. And my name, Richard Tharp, is the name of that YouTube channel. Okay. Let's see here. Well, Norma, this quilt, I think I had it stacked on something close to the floor and Puffin loves to lay on my quilts. Okay, so I'm going to swap this camera and we're going to get a closer look. Okay. But here are my feathers. You can see them right there. Just some feathers, easy peasy. I love feathers. There's my wishbones right there coming up into it. Yeah, but those are my feathers. And you know, you can make your feathers really large or really small. When you have strips of fabric to quilt. It's a great way to quilt a quilt. Think log cabin. Oh my goodness, anything. If you have borders or sashings, it's a great fill for that type of a quilt as well. Okay. Okay, so there's that one. Now then, let's see where we're at here. So you know what? next Friday night, we will do ruler work. Next Friday night on this quilt, we will do ruler work. And let me just swap my camera over here. There we go. Hello there. Let me get my gloves off. But I just love these gloves. I mean, honestly, once you get them on, because they're a little tight, and you don't want them super loose. You want them tight because they help support your hands. But yeah, it's just like, I like wearing them because they're really comfortable. And if you have any hand or wrist issues like I do, you know, sometimes I get cramp. When I quilt with these, I don't get hand cramps. If I quilt without these things on, my hands will cramp, and that's never fun. But anywho, okay. Let me see something here. That. Wonderful. And here. Okay. So. Oh, Mary, thank you for watching tonight. And once again, I'm so happy to see you back on here. You've had a journey. You and your family have had a journey for sure, and I'm just happy that you're here, Mary. Oh my goodness. So let's see here. So tomorrow at 5 o'clock, YouTube, I will put a link in our Facebook group if y'all want to come to the YouTube channel to watch it. You'll be able to just click on that link. And what I'm doing Saturday nights is my Quilts in Italy series, and I'm going to be working on the Cool Zigzag quilt out of the Quilts in Italy book tomorrow night, starting at 5. And I will finish cutting my pieces tomorrow and start sewing them together tomorrow night for that quilt top. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I started to say washing. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I love each and every one of you. I will see you all tomorrow night. Those of you that can't make it, all of those are recorded, so please just go watch them. There is tons of stuff over there to watch as well. I do different content on YouTube than what I do here on Facebook. So, that being said, have a super great weekend. I'll see some of you tomorrow night. I might be doing another one on Sunday. We'll see how that goes. Whew. Wonderful, Cinda. Wonderful, Vanessa. Thank you. You too, Ernestine. Ernestine, I'm working on trying to get a gig out there close to you. Okay? You know what I'm saying. Keep tuned. Thanks, Tanya. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Jackie. Thanks, Linda. Oh, my goodness. Y'all are great. Bye, Tracy. Good night, everybody. Love y'all. Night. Okay.